Question number 17 for our final exam review with these multiple choice questions is that s of x is equal to negative x cubed minus 9x squared plus 165x plus 1300, with x being between 5 and 20 inclusive. It is an approximation to the number of salmon swimming upstream to spawn where x represents the water temperature in degrees Celsius. We want the temperature that produces the maximum number of salmon. So we first need to take the derivative of s. So s prime of x. This would be negative 3x squared minus 18x plus 165. And that factors to be negative 3 times x squared plus 6x minus 55, which also factors to be negative 3 times x plus 11 times x minus 5. And we set that equal to 0. So we get two solutions to this. Negative 11 or positive 5. Mind you, this cannot be negative due to the between 5 and 20, so it's not this one. The only one that would make sense would be an x value of 5. So that'd be 5 degrees Celsius in this case. Question number 18. We want to use the properties of limits to help decide whether the limit exists, and if it does, to find its value. We have the limit as x approaches negative 3 of x squared plus 10x plus 21 divided by x plus 3. If we just try to put a negative 3 in, we get a 0 in the denominator. So because of that, we need to simplify this numerator. So this becomes the limit as x approaches negative 3 of, this would be x plus 3 times x plus 7 is what the numerator factors to, divided by x plus 3. And from this, we could see the x plus 3 in the numerator and the denominator can cancel out. So this becomes the limit as x approaches negative 3 of x plus 7. So negative 3 plus 7, that will give us an answer of 4. Then for number 19, we want to let the limit as x approaches negative 8 of f of x be equal to negative 1, and the limit as x approaches negative 8 of g of x be equal to negative 3. And we want the limit as x approaches negative 8 of f of x minus g of x. So in this case, negative 1 minus negative 3. And that will just give us an answer of 2. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.